Alright guys, this is NBA Dope. I'm coming to you with another video. In this case, I want to talk about the Portland Trail Blazers. Then I want to get into Carmelo. The Portland Trail Blazers' fault, which I've already said, they had multiple faults. They had no wing players. They had no wing defenders. And to win a championship, you have to have prominent wing players, whether it's a wing star or multiple wing players. I guess they was trying to replicate what Golden State had with two prominent backcourt players, but you got to realize Warriors had multi-changing wing players, and even Klay Thompson to a certain degree could act as a wing player because he's 6'7". They guards are too undersized. They don't play defense. They offensively great. Dame takes too much street threes, right? Something Trae Young did when he first came into the league and struggled with something called balance. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it all the time. Obviously they're going to guard him out there. However, when he found a sliver, he just jack up a three. And I said this on my other Carmelo video. I think I did. If you want to watch a team run the play and break it to shoot a stupid three, then watch the Portland Trail Blazers. It's clear to me that they do not want to play with each other. It's clear to me that I believe that they want to move on. You look at Maurice Harkless. You look at Aminu. And Aminu was inconsistent, but he was still a wing. And Maurice Harkless was still a wing. They don't have enough wing players. They can't stop nobody. They can't even stop the New York Knicks. Now on to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony says something along the lines that he hopes that New York Knicks retire his jersey. We're talking about a guy who never went to the third round in the Eastern Conference. Carmelo is a great offensive player. A very great offensive player. Lala Anthony should retire his jersey because that's the career he helped. He helped Lala Anthony. That's why he chose to go to the New York Knicks, even though he could have left Denver in free agency and went to the Knicks when they had all them pieces. But this is Carmelo Anthony's mind, because Carmelo Anthony embodied and believed that what makes himself great and what makes a player great is by dropping points. That's it. That's what he believes. This is why when guys told Carmelo that you're not a player in the league anymore, he was confused, because Carmelo Anthony is like, I can put up buckets. No, Carmelo, that's not why you're at the league. Of course you can put up buckets. You're at the league is because your production isn't worth your negative. Meaning that you ISO, you have cold nights, you're too slow, and you play absolutely no defense whatsoever. You give up more points than you can put up. I mean, you was putting up about 32 points a game. Giving up 30 points a game. So in return, it's probably like a profit, right? If you have a business, New York Knicks was profiting 2 points. He was scoring 32, giving up 30. So they was profiting. They was profiting off 2 points per game off this brother right here. So now in Portland Trail Blazers, being that at times he looks like their best player because Dame and CJ have regressed. And Dame got that contract. I mean, I'm waiting on the brother to announce retirement to pursue his rapping career because that's how he's playing like. They have no defense. They can't stop nobody. So now they finna talk about Carmelo Anthony and saying that it's dropping 26 on the New York Knicks even though they lost. They was even down 22. A big deal.
Carmelo Anthony turned back the clock in last night's return to Madison Square Garden, delivering a 26-point performance. It was his biggest scoring.
They lost by 20 something.
Output since returning to the NBA in November. But it wasn't enough as his former Knicks squad took down the Blazers 117 to 90.
I want to say something about Markieff. I think that's Markieff or Marcus. I don't know. Looked like an absolute fool. Should have went to San Antonio. Instead, you reneged on that deal. You went to New York because you thought you thought Kyrie and KD was going there. You thought they was going to walk through that door. But you know who walked through that door? The producers of Law and Order. Because that's the only thing that's good going for you right now.
Now, was Melo's night a big deal or no big deal? Who wants to take that first?
I'll take it. I think, it's a nostalgic type of thing. Obviously Melo being a former Knick that he is and having all those years. But
see what I'm saying? 93, 103, 113. That's 20. So they lost by... What is that? 4, 5, 6, 7. They lost by 24 points. He scored 26. Didn't I say that pretty much they profited off 2 points? Didn't I say this? Man scores 26. They lost by 24. He was good that game. He was their best player. And also, you gotta look at Dame and CJ. This is what I mean. This is why scoring isn't the only attribute of the game.
This is not a big deal. I don't think this is a big deal. But listen, Melo is a walking bucket. Okay, that's the one thing we
He's a
can
walking trash bucket, but yeah, he's a walking offensive bucket also.
scrutinize any part of
And New
Melo's.
York Knicks should thank Carmelo Anthony because Carmelo Anthony has teams 30 points a game. You're going to score 30 points with Carmelo's on the floor.
Game, the defense, and all those type of things. But the one thing that no one can dispute about Carmelo Anthony is putting the ball in the bucket. So the fact that Carmelo Anthony went into MSG, a play that he has an affinity for, and dropped 26 on the Knicks, that doesn't shock me or anything like that. And I think moving forward, like, does he push the needle?
Look at that. Look at that. He made it, but come on now.
For the Portland Trailblazers.
They can't sit still.
We're talking about the Knicks. We're talking about the NBA. I know I'm not Stephen A. I am Chin A, but I will come correct. All right, let me tell you something. It is a big deal. We have to celebrate the
You
Knicks.
gotta keep in mind, the media still think that this is Carmelo Anthony's last year. So they're treating it as his farewell tour. Even though Carmelo's coming out saying that it's not my last year, they're treating this as it's farewell tour. I told you Carmelo Anthony's career is comparable to a person that's been diagnosed with the last stage of cancer. And the doctor tells them that they only have a certain amount of months to live or days. So they're pretty much dead. They're just waiting on to die. That's pretty much where Carmelo's at with his career currently.
They're on a 3-game winning streak. Okay? And the idea that they had a win-win scenario yesterday is one we should absolutely celebrate. Now, a year ago, we did not, even 2 months ago, we did not think Carmelo Anthony would be in the league. And it's been one of those issues of perception versus reality. People perceived him to be a ball hog. People
Because that's what he was.
perceived him to not give up those walking buckets for other people.
Because that's what he is. He's a he gives teams gift baskets. You know them gift cards, them $30 gift cards? He giving teams 40-point gift cards. When I'm on the court, I'm going to give up 40 points a game.
The reality is he is fully capable of. And the Portland Trailblazers, they needed a boost. They're struggling this season. What happened last season to
No, they need a defensive boost. They didn't need an offensive boost. I mean, Carmelo is fine. If they would have had some defense, Carmelo would have been great, right? They're going to put up a bunch of points because that's what Trailblazers believe they need to do to win. And that's to their detriment, and that's unfortunate. What they really should have went after was wing players that could defend.
they are now has been a disappointment.
And you can see where you know how when you balance stuff, like you like say if I was balancing something on top of each other and it's barely balancing, right? If you touch it, it's gonna fall, but it's barely balancing. That's what Maurice Harkless and the Minu was. Like, it wasn't sustainable. It wasn't a proper structure, but it was barely balancing. Losing those two wing players, everything just fell apart.
The fact that Carmelo can bring life is one thing we should celebrate. The fact that he can bring, the Madison Square Garden is sort of like looking at one of your exes, you know what I mean? And
No, Madison Square Garden brought them. No, they brought it. They brought it. That's what Madison Square Garden did. They brought it.
it's like, oh, you look good, but we're on two different paths. It was a win-win scenario. I wish more people enjoyed it.
That's a great comparison. He's like one of them exes, like, yeah, you look good, but hey, we better off without you.
Let me
I
ask you
think
this,
like we have
Janae.
to celebrate the Knicks right now.
But and specifically as it relates to Carmelo, doesn't this kind of unfortunately embody his career? Huge night, big numbers, a lot of potential, scoring baskets. They lost the game. Like, doesn't this kind of
Exactly. Because that's what Carmelo, like I said, and I'm not a Carmelo hater, right? And I say this all the time because we live in the era where guys, if you critique a player, they assume that you're a hater, right? Or a fanboy. And I encourage you not to be a hater or a fanboy, because when you're a fanboy, you're going to look at things subjective. You're going to emotionally invest into a player, which you should not do. It's a form of idolatry. And when you hate, you're going to evaluate them with hatred. I'm just stating the facts about Carmelo. Carmelo believes what makes him great is putting up buckets. This is why he was confused why he was out the league. He's like, I can still put up buckets while I'm out the league. No, Carmelo. We talk about the other intangibles. Right? We're talking about the other intangibles. You're giving up 40 points a game. You're giving up 30 points a game. But you used to score 32. Which is great. All we needed was different defensive pieces. You didn't affect the game anywhere else. But if you was to go from 30 to 22, then I'm sorry, Carmelo. Then you went from 22 to 16, and you still giving up 30 points a game. And you're getting older, so that 30 is going to turn to 35. It is what it is.
Body Carmelo's career, that performance.
I believe they were a -9 when he was on the floor also. So, like, and they lost the game.
But in fairness, CJ McCollum struggled. It wasn't the best game for his supporting cast as well.
Because it shows you, right? Carmelo's a good offensive player, but it shows you that they need defense. This is why Portland gets swept, because Portland believes that you could put up a bunch of points and 3 balls equal transition buckets. When you're one of the worst defensive teams in the league and you shoot a bunch of threes, you're going to go up against a good defensive team in the playoffs. They're going to limit you, and you're going to shoot your threes and give up buckets on the other end. It's as simple as that.
No plus and minus is a flawed stat, but it's an interesting thing to point out. But I personally still think it's a big deal because of how Carmelo was a big deal in this league. So, like, having a proper goodbye and an opportunity to...
He said proper goodbye. See, that's what I'm telling you. The media perceive him, looking at him now as this is his last year in the league. This is how they perceive him. Like, oh, man, you're having fun. But they know that it's almost up.
A little bit and be proud of himself going away.
Or rather, they think. Like I said, Carmelo can have another year, another 2 years. But he's like that guy that has that last stage of cancer. You're just pretty much waiting on that sun to set.
I think that's a big deal. It's something I'm happy about seeing. Of course, it's not going to change the dynamics in the Western Conference. Like, the Trailblazers weren't going to win the finals without him. They're not going to get to or win the finals with him. Hopefully they make the playoffs, but that may not even happen. But that doesn't mean we can't appreciate and enjoy what he's doing out there right now. So I want to celebrate it. I like it. I love it.
Absolutely.
In the city. I know some people pretend like he's from New York, but I'm from Baltimore, and that's where he's really from. So I'm happy to see him doing this thing.
I'll say this. I think it's a huge deal for Melo. I think it's a huge deal for Melo's stands. Is it a huge deal for the nature of the NBA and how the...
No, you should not be celebrating points from Melo because it's just going to boost his head up. What you should be celebrating is the other intangibles on this game, such as working out his body. His body is in the best condition that it has ever been. Right? Has ever been. I think throughout his career, Carmelo been a bit of an underrated rebounder. Right? If he can help his team, you know, when he's on the team, create energy, make the extra passes, be a positive on the team, then you should celebrate it. But let's not celebrate points because he's going to go out there trying to get these points.
Nature of the NBA is perceived? I don't think so.
To his detriment.
Or is it a big deal for the Blazers, like you said? Not necessarily, but when you're talking about one of the greats in at least my generation, which is Melo, one of the great scorers, one of the greats who you look up to when you're shooting basketballs.
Same generation, our generation.
I know, I said mine, like me and you. I don't know, these old heads. They grades are showing. I think it's a huge deal for Melo.
Wine.
See that dude who just said that? See, he looked like he's 23, but he looks 52. He like, no, brother, I'm 24. Well, you look 40.
I think, we don't know how many opportunities we will be able to celebrate the Knicks getting a winning, and then also seeing Melo ball out, because in the future, we don't know what will hold for him. So we have to appreciate it.
All right, Sinead, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. Always a pleasure. Always so much fun.
Well, that's it. If you like this video, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell. And that is it, fam.